If you're a fan of the arts, then you're probably familiar with the legendary Bob Ross. Despite being a celebrated artist, Bob faced a barrage of unfounded rumors about his creative process and character. Some even went so far as to label him a bad painter. Now, in an effort to set the record straight, Bob's son, Steve Ross, has bravely stepped forward to defend his father while also acknowledging some of his shortcomings. Join us as we delve into the intriguing revelations from Steve and gain a deeper understanding of the man behind the canvas. As the son of the beloved painter Bob Ross, Steve Ross carries the weight of his father's legacy, but also a heavy burden of secrets and untold truths. In a recent interview, he decided it was finally time to reveal the tragic reality that overshadowed his father's life. Close friends and confidants of Bob Ross have long whispered about his premonition of an early demise. Despite his jovial demeanor on screen, behind the scenes, Ross harbored a deep sense of foreboding. This foreboding wasn't unfounded. Ross lived with the constant reminder of mortality, evident in his battle with numerous health issues. A habit of smoking cigarettes, a vice that many were unaware of, took a toll on Ross's health. By the time he was approaching his 50s, Ross had already endured the harrowing ordeal of 2 heart attacks. These cardiac episodes were stark reminders of his mortality, lingering like ominous shadows in the background of his artistic pursuits. In 1994, Ross received a diagnosis that would shatter the already fragile illusion of invincibility: lymphoma, a relentless assailant that targets the body's defense system, the white blood cells. Medical reports indicated the aggressive nature of Ross's lymphoma, highlighting its propensity to proliferate rapidly, spreading its malignant tendrils throughout his body. Lymphoma, notorious for compromising the immune system, left Ross vulnerable to its insidious advances. The enigmatic persona of Bob Ross, cherished by millions as the gentle guide through the world of painting, concealed a private life shielded from prying eyes. Even as the specter of mortality loomed over him, Ross remained steadfast in his resolve to keep his struggles hidden from the public gaze. It was a burden he chose to bear alone, confiding only in those closest to him. Throughout the entirety of The Joy of Painting, which concluded its final episode on May 17, 1994, Ross maintained his composure and infectious enthusiasm, masking the tumultuous storm raging within. Behind the serene landscapes he effortlessly crafted on canvas lay a man grappling with the harsh reality of his own mortality. Despite the weight of his diagnosis, Ross soldiered on, fulfilling his commitment to his audience with unwavering dedication. However, as the curtains closed on his iconic show, the full extent of Ross's illness began to manifest. The once iconic afro that had become synonymous with his image began to thin and fall away, a poignant symbol of the ravages inflicted by his cancer. Behind closed doors, Ross battled against the relentless onslaught of his illness, his spirit unyielding even as his body weakened. Tragically, Ross's valiant struggle came to an end on July 4, 1995, just a little over a year after bidding farewell to The Joy of Painting. At the age of 52, he succumbed to the insidious grip of lymphoma, leaving behind a legacy that transcended the realm of artistry. Steve Ross said he was sad about his father's passing. However, he still made sure that he did not miss out on revealing the truth about him for anything. Following Bob Ross's death, his extensive body of work, including his cherished paintings, faced an uncertain fate. Unlike many artists whose works became highly sought-after treasures after their demise, Ross's paintings were not sold for profit. Instead, they found homes in various institutions, serving as testaments to his artistic prowess and enduring impact. Some of Ross's paintings found their way to prestigious institutions such as the Smithsonian, where they are preserved as part of the nation's cultural heritage. These works stand as reminders of Ross's contribution to the world of art and his ability to capture the beauty of nature with a stroke of his brush. However, not all of Ross's paintings were dispersed to museums and galleries. A significant portion of his oeuvre remains under the guardianship of Bob Ross, Inc., housed in their Virginia headquarters. Here, amidst the administrative hub of the company he founded, Ross's paintings are kept safe, perhaps serving as a source of inspiration for future generations of artists and admirers. For those eager to immerse themselves in the world of Bob Ross and experience his art firsthand, there is the Bob Ross Art Workshop located in New Smyrna, Florida. This haven for creativity houses an extensive and original collection of Ross's paintings, providing visitors with a glimpse into the mind and soul of the legendary painter. Stepping into the workshop, one can't help but feel the presence of Ross, his spirit alive in every brushstroke and every tranquil scene that adorns the walls. Yet, despite the reverence and admiration bestowed upon Bob Ross and his work, there remains a poignant sadness surrounding the circumstances of his artistic legacy. The fact that his paintings were not sold for profit, but instead dispersed among institutions and organizations, speaks to the complexities and challenges that artists often face in life and in death. Steve shared that the story of Bob Ross's artistic journey is as intricate as the landscapes he painted with such finesse. His path to prominence began in the rugged wilderness of Alaska, where he first picked up a brush and discovered the transformative power of painting. Under the tutelage of the renowned wet-on-wet painter, Bill Alexander, Ross honed his craft, learning the techniques that would come to define his signature style. Bill Alexander, a luminary in his own right, had graced public television screens with his masterful demonstrations long before Ross emerged onto the scene in the 1970s. It was Alexander who imparted to Ross the fundamentals of wet-on-wet painting, a method characterized by its fluidity and spontaneity. Ross's debt of gratitude to his mentor was evident, and in a gesture of reverence, he dedicated an episode of The Joy of Painting to Alexander in Season 2, acknowledging the profound influence the seasoned artist had on his artistic journey. However, as time passed, the once harmonious relationship between teacher and student began to sour. By 1991, Ross's sentiments towards Alexander had shifted dramatically. In a candid interview with the New York Times, Ross made no effort to conceal his animosity, bluntly stating, "He is our major competitor." The once cherished mentor had become a rival in Ross's eyes, a symbol of artistic rivalry rather than mentorship. Following Steve's words, while his dad extended an olive branch of gratitude to Alexander through his dedication to The Joy of Painting, Alexander's response was laced with a tinge of bitterness, revealing the undercurrents of resentment that permeated their relationship. Alexander's initial reaction to Ross's rise to prominence was one of begrudging acceptance, tinged with a sense of proprietary ownership over the wet-on-wet technique. In his eyes, he was the originator of this method, the pioneer who had paved the way for Ross's success. Yet, as Ross's star ascended and his influence grew, Alexander's magnanimity waned, giving way to a simmering sense of betrayal. In a candid statement, Alexander laid bare his grievances, asserting his role as the progenitor of the wet-on-wet technique, and lamenting what he perceived as Ross's attempt to surpass him. The words cut deep, echoing the sentiments of a man who felt his legacy had been appropriated and his influence overshadowed by a former protege. The bitterness of their rivalry underscores a fundamental truth. Even the most beloved figures are not immune to the complexities of human relationships. Behind the tranquil facade of Bob Ross's gentle demeanor lay the shadow of a rivalrous dynamic, a reminder that even the most harmonious of partnerships can falter under the weight of ambition and ego. Bob Ross, widely known as the gentle and soothing painter who brought joy to millions through his calm demeanor and artistic talent, was not always the serene figure we remember him as. That is what Steve admitted about his father. Behind the happy trees and tranquil landscapes lies a story of hardship and inner turmoil that few knew about until now. Born in Daytona Beach, Florida, Ross's journey to becoming an icon of tranquility began in a vastly different environment. Growing up, he experienced the struggles and challenges that shaped his character, yet few could have predicted the depth of the darkness he endured. Ross's path took a significant turn when, at the young age of 18, he made the decision to enlist in the United States Air Force. It was a pivotal moment that would define much of his life to come. Stationed at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, a stark contrast to the warm beaches of his hometown, Ross found himself in a world of freezing temperatures and rugged terrain. Despite the harsh conditions, he embraced the challenges with the determination and resilience that would become his trademark. Throughout his 20 years of service, Ross rose through the ranks, eventually achieving the esteemed title of Master Sergeant. His military career demanded discipline, precision, and sacrifice, qualities that would later shape his approach to art and life. Yet beneath the surface, there was a hidden struggle, a battle with inner demons that threatened to overshadow his outward success. Behind closed doors, Ross grappled with anger and frustration, emotions that seemed incongruous with the gentle soul he portrayed to the world. The scars of his past, buried beneath layers of paint and positivity, haunted him, casting shadows over his seemingly idyllic life. It was a tragic truth that few ever glimpsed, a side of Bob Ross that remained hidden from public view. In his years serving in the military, Ross embodied a starkly different persona, one marked by discipline, authority, and at times, a harsh demeanor that belied his latter reputation. Recollections from Ross's military days paint a picture of a man who was not afraid to wield authority with an iron fist. As he himself admitted, he was the embodiment of authority, the one who enforced strict discipline, demanded adherence to regulations, and did not hesitate to raise his voice to maintain order. In the barracks of Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, Ross was the commanding presence who instilled respect through his unwavering adherence to protocol. For those under his command, Ross was not merely a figure of inspiration, but also a source of intimidation, a commanding officer whose expectations were exacting and whose standards were uncompromising. He was the one who enforced the rules, who demanded excellence, and who was unyielding in his pursuit of discipline. However, as fate would have it, Ross's military career would eventually come to an end, and with it, his days of barking orders and instilling fear. Upon leaving the Air Force, he made a solemn vow to himself, a promise never to raise his voice in anger again. It was a pledge born out of a desire to break free from the constraints of his past, leave behind the harshness of military life, and embrace a new path defined by peace and tranquility. Steve also revealed that behind the legendary curls lies a tale of unexpected hardship and frustration, a tragic truth that only now comes to light. The afro, synonymous with Bob Ross's image, is not merely a fashion statement, but a symbol of his enduring legacy. It has transcended mere hairstyles to become an emblem of creativity, positivity, and resilience. However, what many may not realize is that Ross's afro was not a natural feature, but rather the result of a practical decision made out of financial necessity. In a surprising twist of fate, Ross's trademark hairstyle was born not out of a desire for self-expression, but as a cost-saving measure. Faced with the prospect of spending precious funds on regular haircuts, Ross opted for a perm, a one-time investment that would allow his hair to grow freely into the iconic mass of curls that would define his image for decades to come. But what began as a frugal solution soon turned into a source of frustration and resentment for Ross. Despite the whimsical charm of his afro, he found himself burdened by its permanence, unable to escape the confines of his own creation. Each curl became a reminder of the sacrifices he had made, both out of necessity and for the sake of his burgeoning career. Behind closed doors, Ross grappled with the paradox of his own image. The very aspect that had come to symbolize his uniqueness and authenticity had become a source of inner turmoil. He longed to shed the weight of expectation, to break free from the confines of his own success, yet the afro remained an indelible part of his identity. For Ross, the afro was more than just a hairstyle. It was a symbol of the relentless pressure to conform to the expectations of others. Despite his outward appearance of calm and composure, he struggled with the burden of being defined by his image, a burden that only intensified as his fame grew. His business partner, Annette Kowalski, recalls Ross's frustration with poignant clarity. "He could never, ever, ever change his hair," she recounts. "And he was so mad about that. He got tired of that curly hair." In a world where change was constant and expectations were high, Ross found himself trapped in a cycle of self-imposed limitation, unable to escape the confines of his own creation. On the other hand, Steve also revealed a difficulty his father had in his career. While Bob Ross achieved widespread fame through his PBS program, it was not a lucrative endeavor. Contrary to popular belief, Ross did not receive any payment for his work on the show. In an interview, he candidly admitted, "People see you on television and they think you make the same amount of money that Clint Eastwood does. But this is PBS. All these shows are done for free." Despite the show's popularity, Ross found himself financially strained, as PBS, being a non-profit organization, couldn't provide substantial compensation. Without a steady income from his television work, Ross turned to other avenues to make ends meet. He capitalized on his artistic talent by teaching painting classes, where he shared his signature technique and philosophy with eager students. Additionally, Ross authored books that delved into his approach to painting, offering readers insight into his creative process. However, it was not just teaching and writing that sustained Ross financially. He also ventured into the world of video production, creating instructional tapes that provided viewers with in-depth tutorials on his painting method. These videos, essentially 3-hour workshops, allowed Ross to reach a broader audience beyond the confines of television. Despite his father's efforts to conceal his private life, Steve decided to make his marital conflicts public. Ross's first marriage to Linda Brown ended in divorce in 1977, reportedly due to his infidelity, a revelation that shook the perception of the gentle painter as an embodiment of tranquility and harmony. This dissolution of his first marriage marked the beginning of a pattern of upheaval in Ross's personal life, leaving scars that would linger for years to come. In 1992, tragedy struck again when Ross's second wife, Jane, succumbed to cancer, leaving him to grapple with the profound grief of losing a life partner. Despite their union, Ross and Jane did not have any children together, leaving a void in his personal life that would remain unfulfilled. In the twilight years of his life, Ross found solace and companionship in his third marriage to Linda Brown. However, this union was short-lived, as Ross's health began to deteriorate rapidly. Just 2 months before his death in 1995, Ross exchanged vows for the third time, a bittersweet testament to his enduring quest for love and connection. Throughout his life, Bob Ross remained notoriously secretive about his personal affairs, fiercely guarding his privacy against the prying eyes of the public. His preference for seclusion extended to his inner circle, with only a select few granted insight into the man behind the easel. Interviews with Ross's close-knit circle of friends and family, rare glimpses into his private world, were captured in the 2011 PBS documentary, Bob Ross, the Happy Painter. However, even these intimate conversations were limited in scope, as some were destroyed as part of a legal settlement between Ross's family and Bob Ross, Inc. The company, tasked with preserving Ross's legacy and protecting his intellectual property, remains staunchly protective of his privacy to this day, ensuring that the enigmatic aura surrounding the legendary painter endures. There is one more thing about Bob Ross that not everyone knows, and that is, he is the inventor of ASMR. In an unexpected turn of events, Bob Ross's gentle voice and mesmerizing brushstrokes found a new audience in the digital realm thanks to Twitch streams that showcased his iconic television series, The Joy of Painting. These streams not only reignited interest in Ross's work, but also propelled his popularity to unprecedented heights, captivating a new generation of viewers with his soothing demeanor and timeless artistic talent. But the impact didn't stop there. As the Twitch streams gained momentum, they inadvertently sparked a resurgence of interest in Bob Ross's videos among devotees of ASMR, a sensory phenomenon characterized by a tingling sensation often triggered by specific visual or auditory stimuli. For many, the sound of Ross's voice and the rhythmic swish of his paintbrush against the canvas became a source of profound relaxation and euphoria, inducing ASMR responses in listeners around the world. In a testament to Ross's enduring appeal, Joan Kowalski, the president of Bob Ross Inc., dubbed him the godfather of ASMR, recognizing his unwitting role in pioneering a phenomenon that predates its formal identification. Indeed, long before the term ASMR entered the mainstream lexicon, people were drawn to Ross's videos for reasons that mirrored the soothing effects associated with ASMR experiences. Yet, amidst the newfound appreciation for Ross's work within the ASMR community, there lies a tragic irony. While his paintings continue to evoke feelings of tranquility and comfort for countless viewers, the man behind the easel grappled with personal demons and hardships throughout his life, a reality obscured by the serene landscapes he brought to life on canvas. Throughout his illustrious career, Bob Ross became synonymous with certain phrases and habits that endeared him to his audience. One of his most famous catchphrases, "Let's add some happy little trees," became a hallmark of his painting style, embodying his optimistic outlook and penchant for turning mistakes into opportunities for creativity. Ross's gentle encouragement and unwavering positivity resonated with viewers, offering a beacon of hope and inspiration in an often tumultuous world. In addition to his trademark phrases, Ross was known for his unique approach to cleaning his paintbrushes, a ritual that took on a ritualistic quality during his televised painting sessions. With a smile on his face, Ross would demonstrate his method of cleaning his brushes, dipping them in odorless thinner before striking them against a solid surface. Whether it was a box in the early seasons of the show or a trash can in later seasons, Ross's enthusiastic demonstrations of beating the devil out of it became a beloved part of his routine, eliciting laughter and camaraderie from his audience. But amidst the lighthearted banter and cheerful demeanor, there existed a darker truth about Bob Ross's life, a truth that belied the tranquility of his painted landscapes. Behind the scenes, Ross grappled with personal demons and hardships, navigating the complexities of relationships and the pressures of fame with a quiet dignity that few knew existed. In every episode of his beloved television series, The Joy of Painting, Ross appeared before his audience dressed in his signature ensemble, exuding an air of approachability and authenticity. His attire, coupled with his relaxed and calm demeanor, created an atmosphere akin to a one-on-one conversation between Ross and each individual viewer, fostering a sense of intimacy and connection that endeared him to millions. Yet, behind this facade of tranquility lay a deeper truth about Ross's motivations and aspirations. In interviews, Ross spoke candidly about his desire to create a world of happiness and positivity through his art, a world where troubles and sorrows faded into the background, replaced by the beauty of nature and the joy of creation. His belief in the transformative power of painting served as both a refuge from the harsh realities of life and a beacon of hope for those seeking solace amidst adversity. Ross's philosophy was succinctly captured in a letter he received from a viewer who remarked that Everything in your world seems to be happy. To Ross, this sentiment encapsulated the essence of his artistic mission to cultivate a world of happiness and contentment through the strokes of his brush. For him, painting was not merely a creative outlet but a means of shaping reality according to his vision. A vision characterized by optimism, compassion, and boundless imagination. In the face of a world often marred by conflict and despair, Ross remained steadfast in his commitment to spreading joy and positivity. His disdain for negativity and pessimism was evident in his response to those who questioned his relaxed approach, as he famously quipped, "If you want bad stuff, watch the news." For Ross, painting provided an escape from the harsh realities of the world, allowing him to craft a sanctuary of happiness and serenity amidst the chaos of life. Ross's artistic vision was shaped by his belief in the inherent talent within each individual, a conviction he passionately conveyed to his audience with every stroke of his brush. His mantra, "We don't make mistakes, we just have happy accidents," encapsulated his philosophy of embracing imperfection and finding beauty in unexpected places. Through his gentle encouragement and unwavering optimism, Ross inspired countless aspiring artists to embark on their own creative journeys, armed with nothing but a palette of colors and a sense of possibility. An analysis of Ross's televised painting sessions revealed the recurring motifs that defined his body of work, a testament to his unwavering dedication to his craft. Trees, clouds, mountains, and lakes emerged as the cornerstones of Ross's artistic repertoire, each element meticulously rendered with precision and care. By his own estimation, Ross completed more than 30,000 paintings over the course of his career, each one a testament to his boundless creativity and unwavering commitment to his craft. Yet, amidst the serene beauty of his landscapes, there existed a palpable absence, a void left by the absence of human subjects or signs of human life. Ross's paintings, devoid of bustling cities or bustling streets, spoke to a deeper truth about the isolation and solitude he experienced throughout his life. Even when he did incorporate cabins into his scenes, they often appeared unoccupied, their chimneys silent and smokeless, a poignant reflection of Ross's own sense of loneliness and longing for connection. Despite his serene demeanor and gentle persona, Ross harbored a deep passion for country music, a love that manifested itself in unexpected ways throughout his life. In 1987, Ross was bestowed with a rare honor when he was invited on stage by legendary country musician Hank Snow at the hallowed grounds of the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. As Ross stood before the cheering crowd, basking in the adulation of his fans, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of nervousness. Yet, true to form, he quickly eased into the spotlight, charming the audience with his wit and warmth. A spontaneous joke elicited laughter from the crowd, and Ross found himself at ease, reveling in the moment. The encounter with Hank Snow culminated in a private painting lesson, a poignant exchange between two artists from vastly different worlds. As Ross shared his techniques with Snow, he imparted not only artistic wisdom but also a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect, a bond forged through their shared passion for creativity and expression. Ross's forays into the realm of mainstream media further cemented his status as a cultural icon, bringing his unique brand of artistry to audiences around the country. From appearances on talk shows like The Joan Rivers Show and The Phil Donahue Show to live demonstrations in front of studio audiences, Ross embraced the opportunity to share his passion for painting with the world. His visits to New York City, a far cry from the tranquility of his studio, offered a glimpse into the dichotomy of his existence, the juxtaposition of fame and anonymity, of solitude and connection. In the early 1990s, Ross ventured into uncharted territory, appearing in promotional spots for MTV, a move that surprised many, but one that aligned perfectly with the zeitgeist of Generation X. As the American City Business Journals noted, Ross's presence on MTV resonated with the burgeoning obsession of the era with all things ironic and retro. His calm demeanor and timeless charm served as a counterpoint to the frenetic pace of contemporary culture, capturing the imagination of a new generation hungry for authenticity and nostalgia. However, amidst the whirlwind of newfound popularity, Ross's health began to decline, a tragic turn of events that cast a shadow over his final years. In 1995, visibly ill and battling the effects of his illness, Ross made his last public television appearance as a guest on the pilot episode of the children's series The Adventures of Elmer and Friends. Despite his frailty, Ross summoned the strength to deliver a heartfelt message of gratitude to his fans and viewers, a poignant farewell from a beloved figure whose influence transcended the confines of the art world. The episode culminated in a musical tribute to Ross, a fitting homage to his enduring legacy and the impact he had on countless lives around the world. As the credits rolled and the strains of the tribute faded into the ether, Ross's presence lingered in the hearts and minds of those who had been touched by his artistry and his humanity. Yet amidst the bittersweet farewell, there remains a sense of tragedy, a sense of loss for a man whose life was cut short just as he reached the pinnacle of his influence. Ross's final years were marked by both triumphs and tribulations, a testament to the complexity of the human experience and the indomitable spirit that defined him. What do you think about the revelations of Steve Ross, the son of the famous male artist, about his father? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.